Amazing.
I don't think they heard you there, Froob.
Oh, I'm in grief with that Deadly Premonition reference. That's amazing. Hello, it is 4 a.m. anime vibes. I hope you're ready. I'm Froob. You probably know me for Yakuza runs. This is completely different because this is 9 years to the week that I first started speedrunning with Grief Syndrome. And it's 8 years to the week since it was last run by...
Hi, I'm PXMacaiah. You probably won't know me because it was been 8 years since I ran this game in GDQ for the first time.
Told you I had a good segue.
Oh, come on.
Before we start the run, I'm going to go over the ground rules of this category a little bit because it's very different from obviously what's happened before and also a little bit different from some of the other categories we've got. We have 5 characters on screen. However, with one of the latest patches, there is a 6th secret character. Her name is Moimura. She's a problem. We'll talk about her later. Because of this, if you know the game, there are 5 stages. Because of that, Moimura is a problem, and we will figure out that problem just after the first stage, and we'll talk about it when we get there. With all characters, unlike Canon Percent, where we try to follow the events of the anime as closely as possible, we're going to be able to use any character in any stage. Myself and a very old friend and Grief Syndrome fellow runner, Bloody Seraph, came up with this strategy in mind, which is going to get a bit scary when we get to stage 2. Mami always used to be my main, so hopefully we can play well. So if you're ready, Tech, let's go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, Froob.
Thank you.
You got this.
All right, so every character in Grief Syndrome has their very own movement tech and battle tech, or lack thereof with certain characters.
I was going to say.
Yeah, with Mami, what you will be seeing me do a lot is the down, strong, and then jump cancel. We call that ribbon canceling for obvious reasons. The one walking to the left is the one I need to take care of. We only need to take care of the ones that spawned into the fight from the right-hand side. With a lot of these fights that we're going to be doing, it's basically just set enemies that we have to take care of. With the screen transitions that you can see, you'll see that there's like a couple of enemies that were following us from the bottom pathway here. They're gonna basically get in the middle of all the enemies that are also kind of in this bit. Oh, everyone being on the bottom floor is really nice. Should just
That's pretty good room.
And then for the last one of this stage, we also have this guy who sometimes plays nice and this time does not. Do I go to the other side to deal with him? Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, because he's just going to stay there. Now, the downside about going to this side is obviously a whole bunch of enemies here. Now, this is our special. It's not as special because I got hit from behind. Fantastic. So what's supposed to happen is, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see when I use my special, a blue bar will appear over our green bar. I almost got hit again there.
Hey, you got all the enemies.
This is a great start. So that blue bar is taking a segment of our HP away. If we get hit at this point, that HP will disappear and become red. You'll see we have a number called our soul limit. At that point, when it goes red, it will use up our soul limit to recover our HP. Every character has differing values for their soul limit. With different characters, some are tanks, like, actually it's kind of surprisingly Madoka, and some characters are very, very weak, like a certain Moimura problem coming up later. But essentially, I'll be going around, and with certain fights like this, I wait a couple of seconds and use my special. If I'm too late, I'll get hit by these two, which is a problem, because then I will lose all my HP. And obviously, when you go down to, obviously 0 HP, when you go down to a certain soul limit, it'll turn red, and that will be that character on their next death will be proper death. That would be an issue for all characters, because that would mean that technically the rules of the run can't be done, so people don't die. Well.
Yeah, each character has their own separate value for how much, what percentage of their soul limit they lose every time you die, how much of the HP bar disappears whenever you use your special, and Mami is actually, I think Mami is either the squishiest or the second squishiest character. I think she's just straight up dead if you die 4 times.
Yeah. Definitely second considering Moimura.
Yeah.
This corridor is annoying for certain characters because these enemies right here will form a wall of spikes that will stop you for 1 hit each. So if you have multiple of them blocking your way, you will have to get hit multiple times. The nice thing is you can see with Mami, her ribbon cancelling is fast enough to just get past all of that with good movement. must be said, you do need good movement. So you'll see I'm doing a lot of side strong, and then I'm jump cancelling to be able to do another. But the issue with Mami's side strong is that her hitbox in the middle is not obviously damaging as much as the others. For certain parts of this, I will also just be doing this a bit slower because I've lost my momentum, so that I will just be doing a jump cancel after my strong attack so I can just get through this without getting knocked back at all, because that would be much slower. For this one, most of the enemies we have to take care of are the new smaller enemies, but also our 2 larger enemies here, who I thought their names were Alfred. It is apparently
Adalbert.
Adalbert, that's the one. I knew that. For some reason, I asked, again, my good friend, our good friend, Sarah, for enemy names. I don't know why. We're never going to reference them. Why did I do that? This would have been good if I had enough for Tiro here, but whoops. So you can only use your special if you have enough, obviously, green HP, which if I had enough green HP, that actually would have been a perfect lineup. This is Gertrude. This is our first boss. Gertrude likes to leave.
Not doing it right now, though.
Which is good. Hit me.
Big scissor.
Oh, atta girl. That's my Gertrude. So essentially, dying here is on purpose. We need to refill our HP bar to obviously get off a second special, which you might go in the ceiling with how late this activation was, so I'm waiting. Yep. I've done this rodeo with Gertrude many times. I'm probably going to get hit from behind.
There she...
Yes, that's what I was expecting there. When I saw that guy there, I had a feeling. One more Tiro should do it at the very least. I went to the right there to intentionally get Gertrude to attack there. Jump so I don't get hit by that guy.
Oh, Gertrude was getting ready to jump out there again.
Yep. This is just Gertrude, unfortunately. Gertrude likes to run. It happens, unfortunately.
Happens a lot.
We have a little bit of time before we have to talk about the Momo problem. So, Joker, if you've got 1 or 2 donations, that'd be fantastic time.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. We've got $25 from Didymus. Good luck. Hope the run goes well. Always good to see a Froob run. I will, however, need to sleep right after whatever grief syndrome is. It will be exciting to learn. We also have $5 from Mika. Watching AGDQ for a few years now. Enjoy it every New Year. Thanks to everyone who made this possible for good cause.
Hey, it's me.
So, this is the Moimura problem. Moimura is our technically safe character. She shares a slot with Homura. You can see her name on the nameplate is Homura instead of Moimura. We just designate her as Moimura because she is actually very different to Homura. So she has time stop powers like Homura, and you can see that obviously I can stop the explosions from happening with my pipe bombs. But you've probably already noticed the slight issue with Moimura. All of her own attacks can hit her. This is bad because she's also one of the squishiest characters in the entire game. So the ideal setup is to try and get these explosions to kill all the enemies, and then obviously, you know, try and not be in the middle of those explosions. Sometimes you just have to use a golf club. Sometimes you just got to get the golf club out and take care of enemies that way. Essentially, with Moimura, her entire skill set, apart from her special, which is time stop, is different from Homura. So we keep them as like different characters. There is technically a 7th character, which is Cube, but Cube is technically the KOF, DLC KOF.
Only playable in multiplayer.
Yes, which, yes, PX is here. We could have done multiplayer. Don't point that out.
I didn't know they were going to accept this.
Neither did I. I thought they were going to take Magic.
Trying to play co-op in this game with people overseas is also a massive pain.
Yes. So I did something very specific at the start of this room where
did you spawn him again?
Yeah, got him again.
That would despawn.
Yep. So basically, by going to the left, we pan the camera over to the left to stop the second big enemy from spawning in, and then we go to the left to make that one run off screen so it despawns him as well. You can do this with every single character. You don't need like any special move tech. You just have to move. So you can see that I'm just using a lot of pipe bombs, and again, yeah, that should have got them all, actually.
That should get them.
Yeah, that was nice. I should also briefly mention, this stage has a special gimmick. This is a maze. There are 2 ways through the maze. I am going triple left into left, right, left. A lot of characters go that way specifically because they're a little bit faster. Some characters go slightly differently, but most of the rooms bar, I think, one and the other pathway are the same. This is just a long walking section, so Joker, if you got a donation or 2 again, that'd be fantastic.
I absolutely do. Here we've got Octavia von Seckendorf, who donated $25 and said, I had to wake up at 4 just for this game. Good luck, Froob. Don't lose your head. Let's save the Sayaka and kill the incubator.
Octavia is interesting as well because that's going to be the Moimura problem. Or I guess Homura in this case.
Homura problem.
We'll talk about Octavia when we get to Octavia because that's
coming up in 15 minutes.
About 20.
20.
The way I'm playing, about 20.
No. This will be a really good run. You gotta believe.
I'm playing as Moimura. This is Charlotte.
Hi, Charlotte.
We didn't script that. So we want to throw about 5 pipe bombs on Charlotte. Now, Charlotte has a little bit of a tricky thing to her movement in that she's just going to leave.
You missed one.
Are you kidding? Down on the floor. Thank you, Charlotte. And this is actually Charlotte. So I'm going to be doing a combination of just throwing higher and lower pipe bombs to try and get as close to Charlotte as possible. And then I can, if they're moving away from my pipe bombs, I can use like one of my normal attacks to stop them. Charlotte also has the Gertrude problem of just disappearing, liking to go into the ceiling, which is a pain in the backside. This is not going well.
Not doing
more
it
damage
yet.
to me than Charlotte, if I'm being honest.
The more and more problem. Pipe bombs hurt.
Yup. I thought she was going in the ceiling now. But yeah, Charlotte has many different skills, like to get away and to get up close. I'm surprised she hasn't done the sideways charge yet. Or,
Has not jumped off screen yet.
I thought it was going to get me as well. This is the charge. So what I can do is intentionally take a dirt so that I can lay a trail of pipe bombs. So that
You're just dodging the attack.
Remember I
Oh.
said earlier I had such good RNG? Yeah, about that. Yeah, about that.
So the pipe bombs either detonate over time or when hit by the shotgun specifically, or if you hit them with a golf club and they collide with the enemy. You will never see that.
Yep. That soul limit is getting dangerously close to actually losing Moimura. But here's the thing. You can see that Homura just went up to level 7. Because Homura shares a slot with... Moimura shares a slot with Homura, when we use Homura later on, Homura will now be level 7, which is good because we're going to give Homura a really nasty task. This is Sayaka. This is going to be stage 3. Sayaka is exceedingly good at vertical movement. Horizontal movement. It's 4 a.m.
Also good at vertical movement.
Yeah, actually true. Yeah, no, that is actually right. So what I can do is bounce enemies off of, obviously, like obstacles in the actual like level like this, and then the special just takes us straight across like this, does a lot of damage, and it's also obviously very good for movement. Downside is obviously it eats up our HP. For this one, we have to kill the 6 enemies that spawned in on either side, and then the 2 big ones here. The big ones are going to leave if we're not careful. That's actually a good position, so I'll go down here and get them. If I can keep every enemy together, and I knew you were going to charge, so I want to be a bit careful, then we can just take them out very quickly. That was actually very good. That's probably the first good thing I've done all night.
Yeah. Psychic Special has 2 parts. First is the initial small dash, which is not... It takes up a small bit of HP. It doesn't really do anything. It doesn't hit enemies. It's just small dash. But you could chain that into a strong attack, which causes it to dash farther and hit enemies for a lot of damage. So
speaking of the Moimura problem, we used to have to deal with Sayaka by basically throwing her in the pit on this stage. Sometimes my memory gets a bit confused and I accidentally send Sayaka down the pit. We're not going to be sending Sayaka down the pit just yet.
So, yeah, if you fall down a pit in this game, it's essentially the same effect as dying. It will just turn you into the flying orb that will respawn and drain a bunch of HP. Which, honestly, it's more of a boon than a pain in this game, especially for the runs.
I'd like everybody to get on the ground, but I don't think they are.
Outside this stage, the pit is our friend.
Yes.
Hey, you skipped the death animation.
Yeah, this usually happens with Sayaka. You will take at least 1 or 2 deaths just because, like, trying to chain, like, all the enemies together. But you don't have to take care of the large enemies either. It's just the small ones that spawn in, not the ones that follow you from off screen. We're keeping track, mostly, of the enemies that, like, come on screen, but then there's obviously, like, a couple that we just don't have to worry about. This screen right here is how we can tell whether people are cheating at this game or not. There is a hacked version of Grief Syndrome out there that breaks the soft EXP cap and also gives you some extra benefits like, you know, triple jump, extra damage, extra soul limit, stuff like that. It changes all the monitors to be alphabetical letters. It's very easy to tell if someone's cheating.
So these guys are going to be helpful and just fall down to our level, hopefully.
If I can get these 2, that'll be fine.
And thankfully, they bounce off physical objects when you hit them like that, so you can chain attacks easily. Sayaka's actually my favorite character to play as in this game.
She's good fun. Like, she's actually very, like, they're all skillful in their own way, but Sayaka is very skillful. It's like, just keep chaining, like, in the sky and, like, the right height for, like, enemies like this.
She's the most arcadey of the characters.
Yeah. I'm staying here because I'm going to die if I go over there.
There's 3 of them left.
Yeah. We don't have to wait for our soul limit to come back for this boss. For some bosses, we will, or we'll take like an intentional death just before the boss happens. This is Kirsten. Would you like to explain Kirsten whilst I concentrate on trying to actually do something good here?
Okay, so here you see is the real boss. It's going to split into 4 separate TVs, where one of them is the real boss. The other 2, one of them will spawn enemies if you hit them, or if they show these exclamation points, they will shoot electricity at you if you hit them. And it will spin either clockwise or counterclockwise, random direction, random speed, and after a bit of time, it will do that. And just reform the boxes, and you just gotta chase the boss over and over again.
Yeah, so with Sayaka's special, basically if you keep using her special, you can keep her airborne. The nice thing is this is the one screen in the game where obviously falling in the pit doesn't instantly kill you.
Also, you look at the monitors, you just see what's happening on the screen itself. It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I'm actually getting like genuinely nice patterns and monitors here.
Yeah, this is the first mob spawn box. Oh, there's more.
It's unfortunate, but I'm just gonna special through.
One more hit. There
That's
we go.
not bad, actually. I'll take that, Kirsten.
Infinite loop.
All right, before we go on to the next stage, Joker, you got time for a donation or two?
I've got plenty of time here, but we also have hit $140,000 raised for the Prevent Cancer Foundation here. Thanks to donations like this from our friend RPD234, who donated $10 and said, "This looks like a nice healing anime where nothing bad happens to anyone. No sad times ahead whatsoever, no siree. Make a wish."
I mean, at the end of the latest movie, technically every character's alive.
But there's going to be another one. What's going to happen with that one?
We don't know.
So this is Kyoko. Kyoko was, for the longest time, like a good 4 years, the fastest character in this game, until we realized that the character that has pretty much no movement, or that has no movement tech and pretty much no battle tech, is actually faster. So the downside to this level, as you can probably tell, is these enemies will like to spawn off-screen. So I made a big mistake there by staying a bit too close to the side. If you can stay like about here, the enemies will spawn just close enough that even if they are off-screen, you can still hit them. This is like a very, very annoying level for most characters. Now, the nice thing about Kyoko is that Kyoko is actually probably the best all-rounder in this game in terms of, obviously, like movement tech, in terms of like hitting enemies, in terms of like obviously having good range.
She's just like the best at... She's either the best or second best at pretty much everything. Movement, damage, range.
But she's not the fastest. I was hoping to get you there because you were like 2 dots. But yeah, some of these enemies you can see, like, especially with like the second screen, a lot of the screen layout is going to become a lot more kind of like ramps and just like off-screen stuff that you won't be able to hit if you're like even like this far away here. So I'm just being very careful here.
This level also has the cool monochrome aesthetic as well. Yes. Everything's black and white.
You don't actually get to see what Kyoko actually looks like.
Dang.
So for this one, we get a group up here, which should be 2 hits or 3. And then if you get in the sky, unlike Sayaka's down strong, which bounces off of enemies, Kyoko's, you can just go straight through them.
Maybe I should have dressed up as Kyoko so I can actually see what she looks like.
This large enemy is the most annoying enemy on the stage. They have an entire screen-wide fire attack. That was really good management because I kept going on either side of them so they would stop doing anything. With certain screens like this one, when we take care of certain enemies, that'll be when we spawn in the next set. We should be able to get that. There's one more, yep. I should use map strong. And this is, you've got the kind of the same problems as Mami with Kyoko, where if you're in the middle of the enemy like this, you will just miss them. Just you? Yeah. Yeah.
It's a lot bigger range.
Yeah. But the nice thing is, at least when you're at the like specific range, Kyoko has such good range. Kyoko was always my weakest character, weirdly enough. Like mostly the people that ran this category was myself and my friend Bloody Seraph. I think we were separated at one point. We're at the moment like 30 seconds. I think at one point we were separated by only like 10 seconds. My Mami was like 2 minutes faster, and Seraph's Kyoko was 2 minutes faster. So evens out.
Honestly, you just get favorites based on how you like playing the game.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a sappy story, but like as I said, like it's 9 years to the week that I actually started speedrunning with this game. I did it because I had a para-umbilical hernia, and it was like I needed something to, you know, forget about the pain and just, yeah, no one was running Mami, so I was like, oh, I'll run Mami. Held the world record for like a good 5 years.
We have a lot of categories for this game. Tree!
All right, so Elsa Maria has 2 different attacks and a variation on one of the attacks. This is Tree. I was hoping not to get hit into the tree. The tree is the most best attack for like practically every character because Elsa Maria just sits there and doesn't do anything.
No double tree.
No, and then this is hands. This is the variation where this is homing hands. Oh, we got the long version this time. Essentially with hands, you'll either get them in a clockwise direction around Elsa Maria, and that's quite easy to like obviously avoid at that point, so it's a shame. And then obviously you get the other version which you've seen, which is homing, and you can see this one as well. If I get lucky and don't get hit here, we should be able to. Free phrase for Elsa Maria, I'll take that. Yep, not bad.
That's a pretty good fight.
All right, usually between stages I'd throw it over to Joker, but you're gonna have to hold on for a minute because we have to deal with the Moimura problem. So because Moimura shares a slot with Homura, and because this game has 5 stages and the last stage is available, we had to be a little bit creative in how we show off the last 2 characters. So, instead of completely redoing a stage, we're gonna go back to stage 2. I'm gonna pick Sayaka. This is gonna be our one and only little bit of speed tech that we can do that's outside of, like, you know, fight tech and movement tech and stuff like that. So we're gonna take Sayaka. We used to do this on a different level, but the Madoka Magica wiki for this game actually listed an out of bounds. So thankfully, we can use that. I don't have that much special, so I'm gonna be a bit careful here, because if I walk into the door, then we'll go for it. Jump up strong, special, special, down strong, and we are now falling into an infinite abyss. This is unfortunately the end of Sayaka. Now the downside is Sayaka is one of the tankiest characters. We're gonna be here for about 2 minutes. Joker, now is a wonderful time to reel off a bunch of donations.
Well, I do want to issue a challenge here to chat. I want to see if we can't roll through and continue on and get some puns coming in. I saw the trees and the hands. I know the anime fans out here can get some puns in. But speaking of Madoka, we had a $50 donation from Rainbow Otter, who said, I had to donate from Madoka.
Yep.
Let's
Keep going.
Oh, yeah. So we've got $50 here from Winebot, longtime donator, first-time father. So happy to be watching with my little one and hope to share speedrunning with them for years to come.
Congratulations.
I was gonna say, I've been at this for 9 years now. Speedrunning's a wonderful hobby. Like, some speedruns are hard to get into, some are easy to get into. You'll find something for yourself. Like, just persevere. Like, it's very rewarding.
Yeah, the best part about this hobby is that it's just personalized to you. You do whatever you want.
Yep. I started with this and then went to Yakuza of all things. Well, actually, we went to something else.
We went to something else we don't talk about right
Yeah,
now.
we're not talking about that. Joker, you got time for like 1 or 2 more?
Sure. We have $25 from Shobu James. A big thanks to all of the GDQ staff, volunteers, runners, prize donators, live audience, and Twitch chat that make GDQ feel like a window into a world of good that's usually right under our noses the rest of the year. Shout out to my partner watching with me at home and my brother who's waiting to hear his treatment options this week. Here's to a peaceful 2025.
I hear that. All right, so with Sayaka gone, this unlocks a hidden boss. That is our 5th stage, and we're going to go over to Homura. Mostly because, 1, we start at level 7 because of the joint Moimura, and 2, you don't want to bring Moimura to this boss.
Oh,
this is Octavia. Octavia is what we like to call cartwheels.
What'd you say, car boss?
Cartwheels.
Oh, cart. Okay, cart boss. Yeah.
So, you'll see Octavia here. Octavia is a pain in the backside. The other reason why we want to use Homura is that the one thing that Homura and Moimura share is that they can stop time, which, thank goodness for that. So you're not going to get to see Octavia do much at the beginning here because I don't want them to do anything. Going to stop time and throw out 5 mortars. Stop time again. Do it again. And then I'm going to interchange with some jumping strongs to get some pipe bombs out as well. Don't you do it. Okay, so Octavia likes to move around the stage a lot. Octavia has a lot of attacks. This is cartwheels, yes, but this is not the cartwheels that I am talking about. Ideally, you don't get hit because you lose all your special and any chance of obviously stopping time. Now, the downside is, with Octavia, she can go off-screen. She can still be hit, which is one of the reasons as to why Homura is a very good character to fight against her. Like, your mortars and her side strong, which is a rocket launcher, will carry on.
Ooh,
really?
That's a bad pattern.
Yes. Could be worse. Could be way worse.
Could you say that's a wheelie bad pattern?
It's happened another time. I'm blaming you for this one. Unbelievable.
At least she hasn't gone backstage yet.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is actually not too bad. So going backstage is the thing that we're referring to with cartwheel percent. Your runs live or die based on what Octavia does. Despite the actual attacks, this is actually a decent Octavia because she's just not going in the back.
She hasn't done sword once. It's only cartwheels.
Sword would be nice because Sword, I can just freely just throw mortals down and it's just completely fine. At the very least, she is not doing the annoying attack. And again, she's staying within range that I can actually hit her off screen. If I stop time here, this might actually be enough. This would be a very good.
This is actually, I think she's dead. Oh, never mind. I'm still doing too much damage.
Do not. Nice.
Hey.
That's a very good Octavia.
I'm tired.
That's an exceedingly good Octavia.
I'm tired after that.
The fact that we didn't, so every single boss in some way, shape, or form with maybe Elsa Maria and Kirsten, they will go into like the background or the foreground or the ceiling in Gertrude's case, and they'll become 135 is really
Also, we
nice.
just disappear all the time.
Yeah.
Just leaves.
So essentially every boss has a way to escape us, and essentially we can't do anything about it. And Octavia is the longest, she is the most annoying. This is the final stage with the strongest and fastest character, and this is her movement tech. This is Madoka. The Madoka from the actual title of the anime itself. Madoka has basically the best special in the game for grouping up enemies and just hitting them. I'm very surprised I didn't hit you there.
Yeah,
So,
the strongest special, second strongest special, strongest regular attack,
yep.
and strongest strong attack as well.
Despite being level 1, starts with almost 30k soul limit, she's a tank. She's actually amazing. So I got it off there correctly. What you're seeing me try to do is basically do a jump cancel into a second strong, whilst I cannot currently kill the enemies with one single special into strong. That'll change literally by the time we're on the next screen, which is nice. Again, lots of enemies on like the in-between screens here that we just don't have to take care of. So we're keeping an eye on basically like the enemies that spawn in and trying to differentiate which ones we actually have to hit. In this next part, there's going to be enemies on the left and the right in a line. So we're going to hit these ones in the line, charge up our strong.
That's a snipe.
Your special also acts as a barrier to stop you getting hit by that. The one that came from the right is not needed.
This is going to be rough taking level 20 there. You just get a lot of enemies.
Yep. We'll deal with that when we get to it. So a lot of the enemies here are going to spawn in from the sides. You might also be wondering, why am I jumping to do Madoka's special? Madoka's special covers more ground the higher in the sky that you are. So unironically, taking a death with Madoka and then using your special in the sky isn't actually a bad thing. There's one enemy to my right that, is going to interrupt me. Yeah. Well, I think I've got everyone there. That's good. And then there's just you. Here's the light. Usually that's pretty good until the enemy jumps out of the way.
Monica does have one special technique that she can use that's only she can do. If you, because all her attacks are charge up, if you charge up an attack and then jump cancel it, it stores a weaker version of the attack that you just blow off instantly.
Yep. I'm using my special a little too early for these waves, because they're going to be like after I killed like certain enemies here. I was gonna do that quickly, but that's fine. We'll just go this way and do this way. These enemies are annoying. They're melee and their only attack is melee, so you just don't want to be close to them. They'll just interrupt like all your charge stuff. That's the only problem with Madoka on this stage, is that her charge stuff will get interrupted. I have a really bad strat for this screen. I hate this screen. Like me and PX were saying before this run, this screen is probably the worst in the game.
It is definitely the worst screen in the game.
Get off my charge, that's fine. That actually might not be too bad. I don't have enough HP to special, so I'm going to stay here. You're going to go down there. Please go away. There's one more off screen to the right now. Yep.
There's 4 of them off screen.
The laser throwers are fine. We don't have to deal with them. I probably should have just special them.
They're coming.
Hopefully. If we take care of this wave quick enough, they don't actually, because they can despawn.
Oh, they got away.
That's why we jump there. It'll be fine. That's why you'll see me like get close to the side of the screen, so that if there is someone like slightly behind me, you can just slightly catch them with a strong and just bring them back.
So we got 2 more fixed rooms left and then the final boss of the run.
Yep. We should actually mention, the reason why we chose Madoka for the last level for all characters, there's 2 characters that can one-cycle the final boss. The easiest by far is Madoka. Mami is the other one, but she needs the entire stars, galaxy, and solar system to align to be able to do that.
I'm sure Monica's also way better at the stage overall.
Yeah, honestly, like, you can see, like, how we're obviously, like, keeping enemies together and, like, chaining them, like, with special. Should have seen that coming. Now, the thing is, me dying here is not the worst thing.
They're not going to kill you.
So I got to wait for my special to come back to be able to do the one cycle. That's why, like, taking an intentional death here isn't the worst. So, Joker, if you got a donation, you got time for one quick donation.
We've got plenty. We've got $33.33 from non-binary code who says, AGDQ. I wish you all fast fights, fanciful flights, and of course, trans rights less than 3.
Heck yeah. All right, so this is the final boss. This is Walpurgis. Walpurgis is going to disappear into the background at some point. So we're going to try and take care of Walpurgis in one single cycle. My actual damage might be a bit low because of the lack of enemies we've taken care of, but it should be
No, you're 20.
It'll be fine. I've never missed the one cycle at level 20.
Yeah, nonsense.
No.
Just make sure you keep running to the right.
Yeah. So we're just going to use our special, and because obviously Wild Perks is this giant hitbox, Wild Perks is going to get hit with everything. Now, this is Wild Perks' attack. It's these lasers that really suck. If you get hit by them, then we can't one cycle. No, that's fine. A little scary. Now, this one we got to dodge. I'm scared of these enemies. No, that's not happening. I like my free time loss. Yeah, enough.
Oh, come on.
No, not enough.
Oh, time for a donation?
Yeah, time for a donation. I just got hit with a piece of debris as well.
We got time for donations.
I'm not moving.
Well, absolutely. We've got $10 from Matica Fran with no comment, but thank you so much for that. We've got another $10 here from Echo, who said, love what you all are doing. Let's go fast. And we've got $25 from Cage Tiger, who says, hey, don't forget to select incentives when you donate. And that is perfect because we still do have that runner costume dress up incentive open. We're at $969 out of 3,000, so we're about 32% of the way there.
That is Wild Perks' ultimate attack. She throws a building at you. Usually you avoid all of this, but whoops, and that's time. Never failed the one cycle level 20. Footage not failed.
This is the first time. This has never happened before, right?
Yeah, definitely didn't happen in practice like 30 minutes ago. Well, probably 32 at this point. Hopefully I didn't go over because that would be upsetting.
No, we're not.
Nope, sub 30.
That's a shock. That's a shock.
I mean, that Octavia went way too well.
Yeah, we time Magica runs in-game time because it's actually really accurate, which is nice.
It is straight up a frame count.
Yep.
I once played overseas with a friend. We took an hour because of how laggy it was, and the first stage, and the in-game time said like 4 minutes.
You want to do your outro first? 'Cause I've got a tiny
you can go ahead.
speech.
It's all you.
Yeah, all right. I'll keep this short. There's the GDQ know me at this point. There's someone with a wrap it up sign behind the tech there. Essentially, yeah, I've been running this for obviously a long time. I've been doing GDQ runs for a long time. A couple of years ago for LED, it was said that obviously my health was getting worse. It started getting better again, and now it is really bad again. Essentially, this will be my last year at GDQ. I would like to ideally get one SGDQ more in me, but we'll see what happens when the time comes. It's been like very poignant lately because obviously, you know, this being like an anniversary for like, you know, me speedrunning and also just starting speedrunning with this run means a lot to me. Like, I know it's not like as flamboyant or bombastic as like a Yakuza run or anything like that, but this is a run that kept me going for a long time through a lot of grief, pun not intended. And yeah, no, I've made, like, kind of going back to the donation earlier, like, I've made a lot of friends in speedrunning. Like, speedrunning as a community, like, I was telling people not to turn up tonight, and, like, obviously there's a whole bunch of friends out there. Good friend here that I've only just met for the first time today.
I know, right? It's been 8 years?
Yeah, right? And yeah, no, it's 4 in the morning. I'm going to let you all go. I'm going to let myself go and obviously PX go. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Again, massive thank you to GDQ, everything they do. Like everyone obviously behind the screen, everybody on the screen, just everyone does so much good work and just propels the speedrunning scene forward. So thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Pleasure to be back here.
Much love to you.